Recording. All right, welcome everybody to the Wednesday afternoon team call. I'm super excited that you guys are here. As you guys know, we've been bouncing. We have calls on Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays, sometimes Mondays. We're not as consistent with a set date during this time that we've been going through, but we are here. I want to go over just a couple announcements real quick before I pass the call over to our guest speaker. I'm just going to base these off so you guys know what I'm doing. I'm basing it off of what I get from the Roundtable, which is a 5-star diamond group of what is the May focus. And the May focus, one of the biggest things right now is the transition into BOD groups. Be patient as we launch into BOD groups. There's a lot of glitches and bugs that we're working through. I have like 20 or 30 of my customers and clients still that I haven't even gotten into the group because the request is pending and then I accept it and there's just some things going on. So be patient with it. So what I'm doing right now is I am posting in my BOD groups and posting the same thing still in my Facebook group until I can fully transition over and trust the BOD groups to work for everybody. So what I would do, I wouldn't wait though. That's one thing, one of the top secrets I would say to my success is learn something. You learn about something and then immediately apply it. And then just know that you're going to fail. And you learn as you go through those failures. Like failure is a necessity. So get your BOD group set up. The next thing I want you guys to think about is there's a Success Club point retention deal going on. You can look it up in the FAQ 2205. What that is as you guys know, Success Club points are earned by selling Shakeology or the Beachbody Performance line on a home direct order. Mostly those come through challenge packs, but it could be just those products individually. But there's a retention program where when you retain your customers into the next months, and it's a 2-month program, you can earn a Success Club point. So read that to learn how to do that. Also, there's $20 off all challenge packs that are over $150 US. That's called the Summer Strong Sale. If you want details on that, it's FAQ 9090. Also, there's a home gym bundle on sale. So if you have customers and clients that need gym equipment in their house, there's that special bundle offer going on. You can look at that at Coach FAQ 9720. And then Alana Molstein, the creator of 2B Mindset, her book launch is going on. If you want to or interested in that, it's Coach FAQ 2850. And then the one that I'm most excited about is May 18th. We have Mixed Berry Energize in the US. Sorry to the other countries, you're gonna have to wait just a little bit longer. I'll tell you how it tastes and then you guys can be looking forward to that. And then for those of you that are looking to expand your business into another country, on May 27th, we officially launch into France. So if you don't know anybody in France right now, what I would do is, especially I have on live a couple of Canadian friends and coaches. If you know people that speak French, this would be a great opportunity to talk with them and help them understand, obviously, the coach opportunity that we have right now, but being ground floor level as we launch into France, them being founding coaches there, and obviously they would be a part of your team. So we had a very successful launch in the UK. I haven't really focused on the France launch, but if you want to know how I launched the UK, we signed 21 coaches on the launch day. So if you want to know how we did that, feel free to just private message me, ask me questions if you want to launch in France, and I'll teach you exactly what I did. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce our team call speaker today. Her name is Lindsay Livingston. I first officially met her in Canada going to a Super Weekend event. I remember it. We took a picture. There's a big moose head in the background of us. And it was amazing to meet her, and it's amazing to see how much she's grown over the years. I asked her to speak on our team call today specifically because she's been, I don't know the exact date, but it's been about 5 years. January was 5 years, okay? And I'm really excited I'll let her share her story and her topic, but the reason I picked her to speak on our team call is because I see oftentimes, whether it's a brand new coach, I had a conversation this morning, I have a coach that's not even past his 1-month mark that was feeling a little frustrated because there's a lot to learn and he hasn't got the ball rolling yet. And is just a little overwhelmed with all there is to learn. So there's those people, and then there's people that have been coaches for 2 years that might have seen a little success, fell off the wagon because life happened, and they feel a little discouraged and And it's like my desire every day I'm working is like, yes, I'm looking to find new customers to help lose weight and live their best life. And obviously new coaches that are excited about getting those goals and going after something again in their life. But you don't understand how much, like, I pray for the coaches that I have had for 9 years, 8 years, 7 years that are sitting there that might be feeling like, oh, I let the team down, or I let myself down, and I wish I would have, or if I would have done this, where I'm just like, just realize that, like anything in life, you can decide today, make a new commitment and just jump on to your journey and to just continue taking the right steps, one step after another each day, and move towards your goals. Like, I look at my life, I'll be 39 this year. I've got like 30 more years of working life left. So like, whatever's happened in the past, like, you get to determine what's going to happen in the next 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So that's kind of the reason. Sorry if I really set you up big for that one, Lindsay, but that's kind of the reason I chose Lindsay, because past few months she's hit Success Club consistently, but also had Success Club 10 her last month, which is basically the benchmark I set for myself every month, and she's achieved that and create incredible momentum and energy for her. So before I have you go, I'm going to mute everybody, Lindsay, and then I'll have you unmute and you can take it away. Okay, I'll unmute you actually. Okay, there you go. The call is yours, Lindsay.
Thank you. I'm not going to get too much into my full backstory because I have been coaching for 5 years and I feel like my story has just grown and changed and evolved. But I was that coach that I didn't know what Beachbody was. Beachbody found me. I had no idea it was a business until I signed up. And I had great success right off the bat. So I was a new mom. 3 days out of the hospital, I'm training how to be a coach. I hit Success Club during my first month of being a new mom. So I just left all the excuses behind and I gained some really cool momentum. Ended up going to Nashville, as a new mom, just all that kind of stuff. And then somewhere along the line, life got in the way. My mindset let me down and I stopped working on myself and my business took a hit. And so as this last 2.5 years, I've been growing even more and my mindset, I feel, is the strongest that it's ever been. And when Scotty had asked me to do this call, I've done calls before. And I'm that coach that preaches like self-love. And so originally when he said like, do a call, and my heart was just guided towards like, people need to know what self-love really means. And then this topic becoming a Beachbody coach found me. Had nothing to do with Beachbody. I was watching a live video of Gabby Bernstein. She was talking about manifesting your dreams and your goals. And this lady in the comments said, I want to manifest actually becoming a Beachbody coach. And instantly I just messaged Scotty and I said, this is my topic. I don't know what it means yet, but this is my topic. And so then he asked me the other day, are you ready? And I said, yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to say yet, but I know I'm going to meditate on it and it's going to come to me because this topic found me. So like I said, I'm usually that gentle nudger, kind of dig in a little bit slowly, but today what I'm going to say might have some truths that might trigger you. Maybe a swear word might come out. So I hope, I'll tame that down a little bit, but I am fired up about this because I think we all need to hear it. But like I said, anytime in the past that someone said something to me or personal development came into play and it triggered me, either it upset me, or maybe I was a little bit annoyed that I read that, or why would I bring that type of personal development into my life if it would make me feel upset? And then I would sit on it. And anytime that I felt really upset about something that could be valuable, it's because it's something that I had to work on. So I'm just going to start with that because there might be something here today that I say that you're like, she said what? Like, she actually said that, but these are just truths and they're meant to push us outside our comfort zone. The more that I am outside my comfort zone, the more I grow, and the more I grow, the more my business grows. So this is what I feel is actually becoming a Beachbody coach. I'm not going to have a slideshow on how to do something or how to grow your business. This is all inner work. And that's what I mean about the triggers, because sometimes when we do our inner work, it makes us feel really, really uncomfortable. I've had to, over the years, peel apart this little, it felt like an onion that I'm just peeling apart and peeling apart over the years. And it sucked. And that's where about 2.5 years ago, my mindset let me down, because I hit that peeled layer part where it was trauma and past stuff. And I didn't want to, I'm just going to mask this and I'm going to pretend it's not there. And one day it'll just go away. And it didn't go away. And what it looked like on me was my business was failing, and not just Beachbody. I have an aesthetic business as well. I was going broke. I was bloated. I was unhappy. I gained weight back that before Beachbody, I lost over 100 pounds, and I've been proud to keep that off. And I was gaining weight back. And I've never, besides my pregnancy, I've never done that in over 8 years. And so I realized something. I needed to take apart that layer of the onion that was holding me back. And I think after this call, there's going to be a few of you that want to peel back that onion layer. And you can reach out to me, because I know it's really scary to do that. And that looks different for everybody. Everybody's past stuff and, disbelief in themselves looks differently, but maybe I can pass along some tools for you that maybe I didn't touch on today, or maybe you just want someone to talk to. So the biggest part of self-love that I avoided, in fact, I don't even really know if I knew what it was, but it's self-awareness. And sometimes what happens is we go into self-love and self-care, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to do this workout today. Self-love, I need some time. Or I'm going to eat this cake today, or this whatever today that's not going to serve me, but hey, self-love, I need it. And that's what I was doing. And I was giving myself too much self-love and not enough self-awareness. And so I created a checklist for myself, and I do it every week. And it's just really digging deep on myself. And so I'm just going to read it just a little bit. It was actually a post that I did today in my group. And I find that it's been really helpful for me. And so you might want to write this down. But every Sunday after I meditate, because I find that, and it can just be like a 3 or 4 minute meditation, but that's where I get my space. And I do this after my son's in bed, because I want my time. And I ask myself, do I really need to sleep in that often, or am I avoiding something? And then I list ways to strengthen my morning routine. When we're constantly sleeping in, and staying up late and binge watching that Netflix, we are avoiding something. So you have to ask yourself, how can I strengthen my routine so there's less avoidance and more growth? So I am all about a treat, and I'm all about making like junk food things into treats. Like I've made avocado brownies that taste like freaking delicious. So, but I do like to treat myself. I love ice cream and here and there, but it doesn't serve me when I'm eating it all the time. So I ask myself, am I eating out of stress or boredom? And then I list a few ways that I can eat with intention. Not something I'm going to track, not something I'm going to put in a container, but how can I eat with intention? How was my mood this week? And then I list off a few affirmations that I can carry forward into my week. You can Google Pinterest affirmations, our bar blend, affirmations. If you don't have the cards, they're on the digital. I don't think a lot of people know that Bar Blend program has digital affirmation cards that you can pull every day. Okay. How was I with my family, friends, and coworkers? I always list off the positives first, and then I write down anything I feel is a negative. And then I ask myself, was I distracted? Was I tired? What was my mindset when those negative experiences were happening? And how can I move forward in a more positive, impactful way? We've all done it. We've been on our phones, our kids say something, and we snap. We're on a Zoom call with our coworkers and we're losing patients. We've all done it. So give yourself some grace with that. Did I add in self-care this week? And self-care does not have to be, a lot of people think, well, I can't go to the hair salon right now. I can't get my nails done. Did you put your kids to bed 15 minutes early and grab a bubbly water or a glass of wine and sit in the tub? Did you have a shower by yourself? That's self-care. Did you go for a 15-minute walk with a podcast? It doesn't have to be anything huge. You can add in 5 minutes of self-care every single day. And it just means waking up 15 minutes early before your kids and having your coffee by yourself. Okay, like that. Self-care doesn't have to be huge. And this is the last one, and this is where it really can suck sometimes, but it's bringing that self-awareness. Do I need to apologize to anyone? So for me, what this looks like is most times I have to apologize to myself, because in this list, I do an order for a specific reason. And the more you do this list, you're going to realize why this is the last one. Most times it's because I'm hard on myself, and I realize, I could have when I was hard on myself and I was listing off the positives, I was so focused on that one negative this week that if I would have just let it go, I could have had a better week. I could have had more patience with my kids. So this is in a list for a reason. And if there is someone you truly need to apologize to, do it. Phone them. FaceTime them. Don't text them if you can avoid that, because right now we have BC our people, so it's really important if you can get some type of, so they can hear your voice or see. And most times they're going to be like, what? Oh, I didn't notice. Well, I noticed, this is how I felt, and I'm sorry, when I rushed out the door, or I said this, or I had to rush off a FaceTime call. Just things like that. And that is, to me, is how I keep my self-awareness in check. This isn't something I do once a month. It's something I do weekly, and it's been something that I do for the last 6 months, and I'm better for it. My growth is better for it. So I hope that has helped or will help you. Self-awareness is key. It's so important to get over our own bullshit, because that is truly what's holding you back. Every time you make up an excuse for yourself, it's more BS that you are telling yourself. It's disbelief. In order to actually become a Beachbody coach, you need to have hardcore belief that you can do this. You have to stop comparing yourself to everybody else. If you're following top coaches and it doesn't bring you joy and excitement, you need to stop following them right now, because you're comparing yourself. I follow a few, and I honestly get excited for them and their growth. It fuels me to move forward. But there's been many over the years that I've had to stop following because it doesn't bring me joy, and that's okay. If there's other coaches in your community that are growing, there's 2 in Saskatchewan here that I love watching because they're in my home province. This is more attainable to me because these women who are my age in my province are rocking it. They bring me joy. I message them back and forth. I'm not copying their business. I'm not comparing myself. I truly get excited. Beachbody or not, I want these women to win. Never met them before, but we've been in a circle together for years. They don't unfollow me or unblock me or anything like that, because I mind my business and they mind theirs, but we encourage each other. So you need to stop comparing. So if you find yourself comparing, you need to start unfollowing and less social media. So I'm going to get back to less social media in a bit here. How to believe in yourself. Sometimes we need to borrow confidence from our future self. You need to sit and visualize for 5 or 6 minutes a day on how you see yourself, whether it's a year from now or 5 years from now. How do you look? How do you feel? Do you have a smile on your face? Where are you living? How many people are you helping in a month? How is this making you feel? What does your family look like? What does your daily routine look like? Think about it, visualize it every single day. And when you don't believe in yourself, you need to pick some of that confidence up from your future self and plant it now. Those little seeds are going to help you develop into that person. Okay. And how do we get there? We get there exactly by unfollowing people that are not serving us. And sometimes it's real people in real life. I don't have a lot of the same people that I started with 5 years ago. I wish them well. I want them to have the best life, but our relationship was not serving. I am growing and I will not tolerate people that want to bring me down. It may sound selfish, and that's where I hit 2.5 years ago. I had the closest people telling me I'm selfish. Look at her. She's showing off. What a fraud. You name it. It was being said about me, not from trolls on the internet, from people that I knew. And then I started to realize I am leading with love. I am not out to hurt anybody. I'm a single mama, rocking 2 businesses, and I am successful. I do this on my own. My own financial stuff is my own. And I realized that was them trying to make me small, because if I'm small, then they're more comfortable. And I'm not going to say it, but it's just a big F you. I am moving forward. I am moving forward with or without you. And I've realized that is not selfish. It's how we thrive and it's how we survive. If we want that big, bold life that we know is going to serve others. And so that is the biggest thing about actually becoming a Beachbody coach, is ask yourself, am I leading with love? Am I the coach that I would want? So if you're, not having your Shakeology every day, or you don't want to invest in your own company, if you're going to the drugstore or Walmart and buying your pre-workout, then why do you expect your people to invest in your company? When you want to go all in, you need to go all in. When you only post that you're working out once a week and the rest of the time, and there's nothing bad about other gyms, but own it. You don't actually want to become a Beachbody coach if you are not proof the product works. So you have to really ask yourself, am I doing this as a hobby, or is this my business? Do I want to make this a business that I can pass on to my family? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's tons of hobby coaches. That's what Scotty was saying. He has coaches who are discount coaches that have been in his circle for years. And there's nothing wrong with that. We need those people too, just as much as we need our team builders, but we have to be honest with ourselves. And that's what I had to do in January of this year. I am going 5 years into this business. I have not reached the goals that I want to reach. It is now time for me is this a hobby? Because if it's a hobby, I'm going to treat it like so. Or is this a business that I can be proud of? Be proud to be a coach and pass this along and these habits along to my son. So my gut, my heart pulled me towards the bigger picture. I want this as a business. I did not work this hard for 5 years. This isn't a thing that we do. This is literally our life. We are a Beachbody family. My son has been watching me do these workouts since he was a teeny tiny newborn baby. He cheers me on when I was crying one day after my workout, and he came and wiped my tears and he said, "You can do it." He's 5 years old. That is impactful. So you have to ask yourself with that. And there's nothing wrong with your answer. Maybe this season isn't meant for you to grow a huge business. Maybe this season is for you to work on yourself and fall in love with this company. Because if you're not in love with your programs and in love with your routine that Beachbody has to offer, then you're not ready for a big business with it, because you are not the coach that should be showing up for your people. So you need to become the coach that you visualize that you want in your life. It's one thing to still be our people, like our customers' cheerleaders, but we also have to be a strong, bold coach to help propel them forward. Because cheerleaders sometimes just sit in the corner going, "Yep, you can do it," but how can they do it? Well, we have to prove to them that it can be done first, and then they're going to see it happening, and they're just going to keep matching your momentum. And that's exactly what's been happening in my challenge groups. I have ladies and it honestly, 2 years ago, I had 2 of my customers that were surpassing me when it came to goals. And that's when I knew that I needed to make a change, because they deserved better. And I wanted to be the one that they deserved. So every day I wake up and I ask, how can I serve these ladies? And I show up for them, and I push hard in my programs, and I finish my programs, and I eat how my body should be served. And it's just such a huge shift in my business. People across the world on social media are reaching out to me and just even seeing the shift. So that's really cool. So that is the biggest thing when it comes to that. And I do believe in the 4 vitals. I don't want to get too much into them, but I do want to touch base on this because I think we see the 4 vitals and we think that it should just be cookie cutter. But the 4 vital behaviors, they need to be there, but they're going to look different for everybody. So for example, your program, and this is where we have to get rid of the fear of missing out and stay in our own lane and do what's best for us. Maybe you're physically not ready or mentally ready for the work program or Body Beast. I sure wasn't at first. I started with Insanity Max 30. And you have to fall in love with your program. It should get you out of bed. It should get you excited. I see too many people that are flopping back and forth because something shiny and new has happened. Oh, there's nothing wrong with our programs. They're freaking amazing. I literally want to do all of them, but I also have to do what's best for me. So when it comes to the shiny stuff, I learn about each program so I can serve people with it. It doesn't mean I have to do it right now because I am focused on this program that I started. Start what you finished. I see too many people, they start bar blend and then 10 rounds comes out. Okay, I'm going to quit bar blend. I'm doing 10 rounds. Oh, the prep and the work came up on that. Okay, I'm going to cancel that even though I paid for it because it's a VIP access, and now I'm doing the prep. Oh, I don't think I really like this. I think I'm going to kick it old school and do 21-day fix. People see that you're being inconsistent. So lean on your programs. There's magic in your program. Get the results that you deserve, because once you get your results, your confidence is going to skyrocket. This doesn't mean 6-pack abs. Confidence comes from within and our belief. When I was still losing the baby weight, I had gained 45 pounds and I'm smaller now. I was the most confident when I was 10 pounds lighter for my baby weight. I was glowing. It was just crazy how I felt. But yet when I got to my smallest, I wasn't as confident. So it truly is a belief. It doesn't matter what your size is or how toned you are. It is the belief in you. When you finish that program, you're going to realize that you can be consistent. You don't have commitment issues. A lot of the time we think I can't be consistent. It really just comes down to commitment issues. So you need to finish a program and you need to find one that brings you joy. Maybe it's one. I had a challenger that she went out of all the stuff that was happening, all the fun programs that were coming out. She kicked it old school with like Shailene Extreme and she rocked that program. So as everybody in our challenge group is doing bar blend and all these, and she's seeing it. She did feel that fear of missing out, but I encouraged her and she finished the full program and her takeaways were amazing. So that's what you want to do. You want to stay in your own lane and do what's best for you. Those 4 vital behaviors are key to our success, but they don't look the same for everybody. And then you're going to grow into them. So you're going to get stronger and you're going to find workouts that work for you. But just because it's shiny and new, it doesn't mean you have to do it. Learn about it doesn't mean you have to do it. You can still host like challenge groups and all that kind of stuff for 10 rounds. It doesn't mean you have to do it. You can let everyone know, I've done the sample, I've researched this is my next program. Maybe there's other coaches that are doing 10 rounds. Hey, do you want to buddy up with me to do this challenge group? You want to think outside the box. It doesn't take away from your business, but you really want to realize the magic of a program. And then when it comes to personal development, I hated personal development. I'm like, I don't need help. It's fine. I don't need help. And then about 6 months into coaching, I realized that, okay, this isn't just like that dreaded self-help aisle. And the personal development, though, that was coming into my life didn't get me excited. I could barely finish some of the books. And I thought, well, this is lame. So then I realized what personal development actually is, and it gets me excited. Your personal development, again, is not cookie cutter. This may look different for you. Maybe you have more energy and time when you listen to a podcast or an ebook. And maybe a book will take you a whole month or 6 weeks to read because you're reading 8 to 10 pages at a time. That's fine. What I do with that, because I sometimes start a few books, is I just keep a journal for each book. And if I'm reading 10 pages a day, I just journal it and move forward. I love podcasts. I love ebooks, but I also love reading, and I highlight. I'm such a highlighter. So your personal development should get you excited. It's something I start with every single day. I wake up at 5 and I start, because I'm not a morning person, so I start with an ebook. I start with a little dance routine, and then I sit and have my energize, and I read my book, and I journal, and I meditate, and I visualize. And so personal development looks different. Maybe you love learning about the business side of things and numbers and scales. Do you? That's your personal development. My type is like the Rachel Hollis, Tony Robbins, just lights my soul on fire, things like that. So there's been lots of personal development throughout the years that has come into my life, and I really wasn't into it. It's not something that maybe I will be. So I've kept these books, and now I'm reading them 5 years later, and they're getting me excited. But you really need to find personal development that is serving you in what you want. So if you have hardcore disbelief in yourself, you need to find personal development that is going to serve you and finding your inner joy and confidence. If you do need to heal, and there's past stuff you need to focus on, there's so much personal development out there for that, and podcasts. We truly are the 5 people we hang out with. And right now it is tough because we're not around a whole lot of people. And sometimes the people that we are around just aren't on our level. So I am finding my people through my podcasts and through my books. And then I follow them and I write to them and I comment. And maybe they'll never say anything back, but guess what? They do. Trent Shelton has messaged me a few times. Rachel Hollis has, sent me some love. Dave Hollis has sent me some love. And I just think that's so cool because these are my people right now. Those are the people that I'm leaning on, even like our Beachbody community. I know like Tamara and Scotty, like it's just that back and forth chatter here and there. And that is so good for us. So FaceTime if you can, but sometimes, because when I first started with this company, I didn't have that around me. And so I did lean on characters in my life through my personal development books to be my people. Sounds a little crazy, I know, but I live and breathe them. And then sometimes they don't serve me, so it's an unfollow and finding something else or someone else that I want on that level. So it's just as we level up with our growth, is our circle is going to change, and that is okay. We had a huge nudge this month that my circle changed in a big way, and it's just love and release and move on, and we're just going to keep loving on each other. But it doesn't mean sometimes when our growth is going different ways, we're actually holding each other back. So it's okay to bless and release and move forward and send them love, but it doesn't mean that they have to be in that little circle right now, because that is you. This is your heartbeat of where you're moving forward. And it's like that crab bucket where we're trying to grow and move forward, and those crabs are still trying to pull us down. And sometimes they don't mean to, and sometimes we don't realize it. And that's where that self-awareness checklist comes into play. I feel like I'm talking really fast, but if you have any questions, just send them my way after. Perfect. I'm just looking at my notes. So another thing that I had to ask myself was, if this was a company that I had a boss or a supervisor, would I have a raise by now? Would I have been acknowledged as employee of the month? Would I have been fired? And there was a chunk of my business that I was working that I probably would have been fired. If I had an employee like me in my aesthetic business, they wouldn't have lasted. So why, with something so special and this amazing company that offers so much growth, am I treating it like this? And that's where, again, I had to ask myself, do I really want this? What do I want out of this? And that's a big one. I know that triggers a lot of people because they're like, I'm my own boss, but you have to act like that. I have a little sticky note up in my office that says like, would I get a raise this month? Am I employee of the month? You want to strive for that. And that's where a schedule and structure does come in. And this is where I hear, and I totally understand that there is, and it hurts my heart that there's spouses and friends and family members that do not support you. And this is the biggest truth bomb about that is you need to move forward anyways. And I know it's tougher with a spouse. I can't even go there because I actually don't know. I'm on my own, but I've had it in really close family and friends. And when it hits family, like your sister or a parent, it really sucks. It can be heartbreaking, but I had to move forward anyways. I'm kind of the black sheep in my family. I'm growing, and sometimes that can be intimidating. And my schedule can look a little bit hardcore on things that I put on my plate or the things that I post. Maybe they didn't like, but hey, this is for me. I literally ask myself before I post something, am I leading with love when I'm posting this? Is this going to serve someone? And if it hits yes, then it's posted, whether it is a tough topic or not. But one thing I have noticed is sometimes it's really not that people are trying to be unsupportive. It's our actions that are causing that type of reaction. So you have to ask yourself, when it comes to people not supporting you, and especially like a spouse or close family, is have you actually told them about what you do? Because this can look intimidating. We're on video chats. At the time, like I was traveled 3 different times with Beachbody, plus in Canada to different like events. And I was realizing that it looks shiny, it looks awesome, but they really weren't involved. So you have to ask yourself, did I actually let my partner know or my family know what it is I'm doing and how it can impact people for the better? And did you let them know that you're not going to be forcing this on them? Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I can create. And if you are ever ready someday, I am happy to help you. If you don't want me to help you, I'm going to connect you with someone that can, but your life is your life. I just really want you to know what I am doing right now. And this is my 3-month goal. And when in my office, you're welcome to come into my office. You're going to see my 3-month goals on my bulletin board here. And just notice that that pink highlighter is me checking off my badass list. And anytime you check off a goal, just let them know at supper. Be like, you know what? I really did well this month and this is what happened. And you're going to notice a shift in their mindset towards you. But what's happening, and I see it all the time, is you're scrolling. You're on your phone 24/7 and you're calling it work. You need to cut that out of your life because it's not serving you and it's not serving your family. Because it's so insulting when they are trying to be part of your life and you're clouded with your phone. I get it. When I first started, every notification, every comment, every check-in, I was obsessed because it was so exciting and I want to help people, but I also realized that wasn't serving me, my son, or my family. I was being unsocial. So there was people that called me out on it, and moving forward, I did better. So that's where a structure does come in. I get it. You're your own boss, but you should have some type of, whether it's, hey, I'm working for an hour and a half in the morning. I'm going to be in my office in the afternoon for 2 hours. You just need to figure out how many hours a day you want to work and actually put that into a schedule and let your family know. So that way you're not interrupting dinner or family nights or bedtime with your phone in your face, because that is where people will be very unsupportive, and I really don't blame them. So I feel like the more you encourage them to join along with you, and I think organically, the more you show them how grateful you are for this company and how it's serving you in the best way possible, they will slowly start to gravitate towards what you're doing. It doesn't have to be forceful. And it really is just encouraging them to just share with them. Like, I'll leave my books around. It's like, oh, what's that? Oh, I'm just reading this, and this is what I took away from it. And it's just little nuggets here and there and little seeds here and there. They're watching you make that shake every day. They're watching you taking time for yourself. So maybe there's someone in your life that isn't going to join you on a program, but you notice they started walking every day, or maybe someone that like I know someone in my life that really doesn't go outside, but I notice they go outside now every day. So it's just really being a light in people's life and really checking your behavior before you say that someone's being unsupportive. And I totally get there is unsupportive people out there. I have it in my life, even when I do share, but at least you've done everything that you could have done to prevent any type of negativity towards that. And at the end of the day, if there still is negativity and you have done the best to share your goals, lead with love, and not be forceful, that simply is not a you problem. Some people are really insecure with their own growth or lack of growing, and you're being a light. And anytime that we want to be a light in the world, it is intimidating, and people want to dim that light very quickly. So just keep that in mind as well. And lastly, I don't know what time it is. Oh, we're doing good. Okay. And lastly, celebrate everything. So one of our vital behaviors that has been added is celebrating and encouraging. And so what I mean by this is every little goal. So if after the week that you're doing your awareness checklist and you realize that you went from 10 negative things that week to 2, that's something you should be celebrating. If you hit your water goals, if you realize it's been 10 days and I didn't need that chocolate, I hit one of those goals. I went 45 days without ice cream and chocolate and some type of sugar besides fruit in my life, and I feel awesome. I'm celebrating those wins. You want to celebrate yourself because guess what? No one's going to do it for you. You can't, and that's one thing I was waiting for when I first started, because I am by nature a people pleaser. Then I realized, well, no one's clapping for me, but I'm doing all this cool stuff. And fortunately, I do have some really great people in my life that do send out encouragement, but you can't rely on that. You need to clap for yourself. I clap for myself. I pat myself. I hug myself. I do a little dance party. It's so important to celebrate yourself. So maybe personal development isn't your thing, but you finished an ebook or you finished your first book and now you want to get on our team page and tell us about it. Or you did commit to a program and you finished your first week and you feel excited. You should be celebrating yourself, because the more you celebrate yourself, now it's time to roll forward and celebrate others. Get involved in your team page. When we're cheering our team on or sending out advice, it encourages everybody. It lifts everyone's vibration up. You can't, if you choose to make this a business, you can't be a fly on the wall in your team pages, because the day that you post something that you got excited about, don't expect everyone to cheer you on because you haven't been cheering anybody on. I'm not saying you have to be in here 24/7. Take 5 minutes or even say 8 minutes a week and get in here and cheer your teammates on, because when we lift everyone's vibration, we lift up ourselves. And it's going to roll forward into your challengers. I celebrate everybody. This didn't happen right away. I now have a budget that I buy little things for. So if my girls finish, I have 2 girls finishing the morning meltdown. It's 100 freaking workouts. They're both new moms. They have 4-month-old babies and 3 other kids. That's like a million children. I'm sending them a gift. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. It's a little journal. And then I have 2 amazing coaches on my team. Right now, they are in that stage of, hey, I'm a discount coach, but I think I want a little bit more. I was able to buy them actual books. So I figured out what I wanted to buy them. One's the Slight Edge for my girl that really wants to build this as some type of business. And one is still that discount coach that maybe just needs a little bit more belief in herself. So it looks different on everybody. It doesn't have to be something though. When I first started, I had a challenger of the week, and whoever was posting and showing up every day, I made this cute little collage. And it was just hey, let's have a comment party and send this person some love. We still do that. I'll send them private messages and I'll voice message them hey girl, hey, I noticed this. I usually try to get as specific as possible why I'm encouraging them. And it just brings everyone's vibration up. And when we can bring up the vibration, it literally changes the world. That's the spiritual side of me. I do believe that. I do believe that the more we encourage others, the more our light can shine brighter and their mindset shifts. Because what happens is when we're coaching others, they don't have that hardcore belief that we can see in them. And the more you encourage them, the more that light flickers and it's there. And the next thing you know, you have challengers, people walking around glowing and smiling and being healthy and being kind people. And that is how we change the world together. So that is my call.
Oh, that was so good. Thank you, Lindsay. I feel like that should have been like a national wake-up call. That was so good. Thank you. Literally, like every little topic that you hit, I was like, oh, I got to say this afterward, like just to like validate everything that you're saying. Like, this is it. This is it. Like to everything that you said. So I'm not going to do that because you said it so well.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm just so proud of you. I love that you ended on raising the vibration of everybody working together like that. That's something that I'm working on. I'm 9 years in as a coach, and I'm reading a book for the second time called Tribal Leadership. And it has different stages. Like stage 1 is like a really negative vibe instead of a community. Number 2. And like, I feel like we're at a number 3. Like as I've been doing like the self-analysis and looking at myself and leaders on our team, we're like at a level 3, which is like, we're a bunch of lone rangers, like that have goals and ambitions, and we can get into the routine and work hard on it. But to get to the level 4, which is a really great place, we have to be vibing together. Working more together, supporting each other in that level. And then it says that very few can raise to level 5 just for little sparks of time where you like really make a difference and leave a legacy and impact. So I love that you ended on that because it's something that I'm working on. And I share that with you guys to let you guys know that like 9 years in, I don't have it all together. Yeah, I'm still learning. Like as I was listening to you, I'm looking at Mike and Ashley and Tamara and everybody that can see on video. And I'm like, man, like when I started this thing, I had no idea what was going on. I was like 29 years old. Here I am almost 39. And I was like, one day I'll be sitting on a call like this and we'll be 49, and just realizing that like I still have a lot of growth to do. I still have a lot of learning to do. And as you were talking about comparison, here I go talking about all your points. I'm just talking about a couple of them. Like comparison, like my coach has been a superstar diamond 4 times.
Yeah.
Like 4 business centers. And like, I haven't even done that once in 1 business center, but I'm extremely, like, I know that we will get there. And I don't care if it takes 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years, we will get there. But I love what I do. And I'm very confident in that I love my role as a coach and my purpose. Now, if I compare myself to her progress or someone else's, that's where the negativity would come in. I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. So I thank you for reiterating some of those points, and for me and also for us to share with our teams as well.
I forgot one thing which is what you just reminded me too. Is I used to care so much what other people thought of me that it would literally paralyze me. And I knew that I needed to go through that season to grow. So I don't ever regret how my journey has gone because it was a large setback. Definitely. It was the longest winter season I went through. It was 2.5 years of winter season. But I feel like if I didn't do that, my life wouldn't be where it is, and that I can teach others how to avoid that if possible, or at least avoid a shorter type of season. But I used to care so much what other people thought of me, how I grew my business, what I did, like everything. It was paralyzing. So that's probably the biggest thing too, is you really have to not care. And honestly, they're really not thinking about you that much. Like, stop being so full of yourself, because people aren't sitting around going, what's she up to today? No, it doesn't work that way. It's a fear. We are fearful of our moves, and we're looking for, other people's, approval. So a lot of people really aren't caring. And one of the biggest things that I write on my Post-it note too is, what other people think of me is none of my business. It isn't. I used to kind of get into that, not gossipy, it'd just be family stuff. Like if I knew someone talked to like an old friend or a sister, I was like, oh, did they say anything about me? And like, it's none of our business. It really isn't. And you have to be okay with failing forward. If you are not failing, you're not growing. So I'm doing things right now that I never thought I would be doing, and I'm looking silly doing them. I've made some big mistakes, but I'm growing and it's really cool. So, and you have to just be okay with like getting out of your comfort zone.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, thank you for everybody being on the call. Lindsay, I recorded this, and everybody else on the call, I recorded this. If you have coaches on your team or maybe even customers, all of these principles and concepts she taught can apply to someone improving their life with their health and fitness as well as with their coaching. So that recording will go up in the team page. Feel free to share it. And then we'll see you guys on the next team call. I'll announce that really soon inside of the team page on who that guest speaker will be. But we look forward to seeing you guys next week. It's great to see you guys. I was thinking about that as we did this call. I was listening to some personal development, and it was talking about how, because I'm a texter, like if someone calls, I usually just ignore it and wait for them to text me. And I was hearing in that personal development that endorphins are released when you hear someone's voice. And they were doing tests. Like if you text back and forth with someone, it released no endorphins. But when you just call them and exchange voices and laughter, whatever it is, you release those. So let's do more of that as a team, hearing each other's voices. That's why I love being on the team call. And thank you again, Lindsay, and we'll see you guys next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.